Hello everybody, welcome to 21st Century IAS Academy, Delhi's upscale meditational mentorship UPSC Confidence Covenant program. This is Goli Varsha. I'm sure you're taking the tests seriously and writing them consistently every single day. On this positive note, we shall see the test explanation for CSAT questions given on
Day 12. Let us look into the first question. The increase in the price of a certain item was 25%, then the price was decreased by 20%, and then increased by 10%. What is the resultant increase in the price? Okay, now there are two concepts here. One, as I already told you in the previous sessions, you have to convert percentages into fractions and decimals. These conversions you have to be very thorough, which means 25% means it is 1/4, all right, or 0.25. Now 25% increase means if suppose a quantity is 100, okay, say a number is 100, all right, if it is getting increased by 25%, it means it is getting increased to 125. Okay, so this change is called 25% increase. All right, now instead of taking 100, I will take the number as 1, and 25% increase of 1 would be 1.25. Okay, so this conversion is very important, not this one. Okay, to make calculations very simple, this decimal conversions is very important. All right, likewise, if I say 80% decrease, okay, 80% decrease, a number is decreased to 80% is different, a number is decreased by 80% is different. Okay, if a number is decreased to 80%, which means 100 now became 80. Okay, if a number is decreased by 80% means 100 will become 20. Okay, it is decreased by 80%. Okay, so this is one concept. This conversions and this one you have to be very thorough. Okay, and the second concept which I was referring to is consecutive changes. The same number is getting increased by some 25% increase and then getting decreased by 20%, okay, and so on. Now how will you do this, or how will you calculate? The conventional method is to take as 100 then 25% increase, which means what is 25% of 100? It is 25, so you will add it, you will get 125, and again if it is getting increased by 20%, you will find out what is 20% of 125. 20 by 100 into 125. Okay, so 0 0 will get cancelled. 25 into 2 is 250, 250, and again 250 by 10 is 125 into 2 is 250, 250 by 10 is again 25. So what you will do, you will add 125 plus 25, that is 150. So the answer here is 150. So this is the conventional method. But instead of calculating like this, if you take the method 2, or if you opt method 2, you can do it in decimals. How? See, this number, initial number, I'll take it as 1, okay, and it is increased by 25%, means this number will become 1.25, okay, and the number is increased by 20%, it means it is becoming 1.2 times. Now what is this? Why did I write like this? See, 100 plus 20%. 100% plus 20% is how much? 120%. Now 120%, if I convert it into decimal, what will you get? 120 by 100. So you'll get 1.2, no? This 1.2 I'm writing here. This all should happen in your brain. Alright? So into 1.2. This is consecutive change. Initially it increased by 25% and then it increased by 20%. So the number will become 1.25 into 1.2. What is this 1.25 into 1.2? It is 1.5. Okay, which means initially the number was 1, now it is 1.5. So how much did it increase? It increased by 50%. Okay, percentage increase or decrease, this is the easier way, okay, instead of doing all these things. Now here also you got the same answer, no? Initially the number was 100, now it became 150. So what is the percentage increase? It increased by 50%. Okay, so this is some basic gyan that I wanted to tell you, because doing this way you will find simplification and percentages very, very easy and very interesting. Okay, see, this is a previous year question. Now we'll get back to the sum. The increase in the price of a certain item was 25%, then the price was decreased by 20%, and then again increased by 10%. All right, this is the previous year question. All right, so if the what is the resultant increase in the price? So they're not asking the absolute number, just increase or decrease in percentage. So you can assume that number. All right, you can put it as X, or you can assume it as 1 or 100. I am assuming it as 1. Okay, and the price was increased by 25%, which means into 1.25, and it was decreased by 20%, means the number will become 80% of itself. Okay, now what is 80% of itself? In decimal form, you have to multiply by 0.8. All right, and then again increased by 10%, which means you have to, it has become 1.1 times. All right, increased by 10% means what? 100% plus 10%. Okay, 110%. This is 110 by 100, so it is 1.1. So that I am writing here. So this conversion of percentage into decimals, it has to happen in your brain, and it will happen eventually. All right, so the conventional method is one thing, and this is the other method. All right, this is easier method actually. What is the resultant increase in the price? 1.25 into 0.8 is 1. Okay, and 1 into 1.1 is 1.1. So initially the number was 1, and now it became 1.1. Okay, so what is the resultant increase in the price? So if this it is 0.1. Now 0.1 in terms of percentage, how will you write? This difference by the initial number into 100, that is 10%. So 10% is the answer. All right. In October, Varun brought the same amount of rice and the same amount of wheat as he did in September, but spent rupees 300 more due to price increase of rice and wheat by 20 and 25% respectively. If Varun had spent rupees 550 on rice in September, then how much did he spend on wheat in October? Okay, so here there is September, there's October month, and there's rice, and then there is wheat. Okay, in September he spent 550 rupees. Okay, for rice, and let the price of wheat be Y. And then in October, the prices increased by 20% and 25%, which means now the rice price would be 1.2 times 20% increase, means 1.2 times of 550. Okay, and Y increased by 25%, which means now the price would be 1.25 Y. Now, the price difference of rice and wheat together, put together, is 300 between 2 months. Okay, so now we have to take the difference. Now 1.25y minus y is how much? It is 0.25y plus 1.2 into 550 minus 550 is 0.2 into 550. Alright, so how much will you get? So this point and 0 is gone. So here it is 110 plus 0.25y is equal to 300. Okay, the difference of prices. Now, y is equal to how much will you get? 300 minus 110 is how much? 190. So 0.25y is 190. Now, what is he asking? Then how much did he spend on wheat in October? October is this much, 1.25y. You have to be very careful. He's not asking you the value of y. He's asking you the value of 1.25y. Alright. Now, if 0.25y is costing you 190, then how much will 1.25y cost you? See, 0.25 into 5 is 1.25, right? So the answer here would be 5 times of 190, that is 950. If you didn't understand this step, what I did here is, this is unitary method, right? 0.25i is 190, then what is 1.25i is equal to? How will you write this? Generally, you will write it as 1.25i by 0.25i into 190, no? So this y will get cancelled, 0.25 5s are 1.25. 5 into 190 is the answer. You got 5 here, no? That 5 I directly multiplied like this. 0.25 into 5 is 1.25. So the required answer is 5 times of 190. Alright. So C is the answer. Now next question. Pranay purchased a land for this much in the outskirts of a city. Due to some reason, its value depreciated at 25% per annum and he sold it to Ramesh after 2 years. Okay. This fellow Pranay and he is Ramesh. Okay. So every year the land is getting depreciated. The value of land is getting depreciated at 25% per annum. That means 25% is 1/4, no? So every year the price value, land value is decreasing 25%, no? So how much, if the initial value, it is already given, I am putting a box instead of writing that number. So it is becoming 25% decrease. That means you have to subtract 1/4 of the amount. So it is becoming, if you subtract 1/4 from 1, how much will remain? 1 minus 1 by 4 is 3/4, no? So it is becoming 75% of the initial value. 3/4 and 75% are the same. 75% of the initial value, and again it is becoming 75% of the initial value. Alright. So how will you write that? You will write it as 2,88,256 into 3 by 4. Okay, after 1 year, the price will become this much, 3/4 of this much. And again, after 1 year, it will become 3/4 of this much, no? So consecutive changes. So Ramesh fellow, he is buying at this much price. Yeah. Now, at the same time, the city expanded and new projects of infrastructure started coming up. As a result of the expansion, there was an appreciation of real estate prices at the rate of 50%. Okay, now at the rate of 50%, it is increasing. So, initial price, if it is 1, how much will the new price become? It will become 1.5. What is 1.5 in fraction? It is 15 by 10, that is 3 by 2. So, a number is becoming 3 by 2 of itself. 3 by 2 of itself. So, into 3 by 2, what would be the value of the land after 2 years from the time Ramesh brought the land from Pranay? Okay, so you have to multiply. See, this number into 3 by 4 into 3 by 4 is Ramesh's cost price. Means Ramesh is buying the land at this price. Okay, now the prices are increasing, so it is becoming 3 by 2 into 3 by 2, 2 years, no? So this will be your answer. This is method 2. Method 1, the conventional method is given in the solution paper. This is method 2. Okay, so what will you get? 4 1s are 4 7s are 28, 4 2s are 8, 0, 4 6 are 24, 4 4s are 16. Okay, now 4 1s are 4, 4 1s are 4, 4 8s are 32, 0, then 16. Okay, now again 4 table, 2 and 2 will get cancelled. 4 4s are 16, 2, 5, 0, 4. Okay, now you have to calculate 4504 into 3 into 3 into 3, 1 2 3, another 3. Okay, so 4504 into 3 is how much? 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, 5 1, 3 4s are 12, 13. Okay, 13512 into 27. Okay, one way is direct multiplication. Okay, the other way is 13,512 into 27. I'm splitting it as 30 minus 3. 30 minus 3. Now what will it become? 13,512 into 30 minus 13,512 into 3. Alright. So here again, how much will you get? You will get 0, 3 2s are 6, 3 1s are 3, 3 5s are 15, 3 3s are 9, 10, 3, 4. So 405360 is 13512 into 30. Now 13512 into 3 will become how much? 40536 without the 0. Okay. Now it will be easy for you to subtract, no? In 2 steps you will get the answer instead of multiplying this directly. Okay. Now what is the answer? 405360 minus, okay, so here you will get 4 and 5 minus 3 is 2, 13 minus 5 is 8, and 4 minus 0 is 4, and 40 minus 4 is 36. So 364824. Yeah, this is the answer. C is the answer. So here writing 27 as 30 minus 3 will reduce the time at least by 2 minutes. Okay, so that you can spend that 2 minutes for next question. Alright? Now, the monthly salaries of Anand and Bhanu together amount to rupees 45,000. Okay, Anand spends 60% of his salary and Bhanu spends 80% of his salary. If now their savings are the same, then the salary of Anand is. Okay, if he spends this Anand and Bhanu, if they spend 60%, I mean Anand is spending 60%, that means what are his saving percentages? 40% of his salary, 40%, or let A, this A dash be his salary and B dash be B's salary, Bhanu's salary, alright? Now, and Bhanu spends 80% of his salary, which means his saving percentage is 20%, alright? And their savings are the same, which means 40% of A's salary is equal to 20% of B's salary, alright? Now, so the ratio of A's salary to B's salary is 1/2 or 1:2. Okay. Now they are also saying that the sum of the salaries of A and B, that is A dash plus B dash, is equal to 45,000. Alright. Now, see, what is this ratio indicating? It is indicating that if there are 3 pieces of a cake, A eats 1 piece while B is eating 2 pieces. Okay. You understand it this way. B is twice of A, that is fine. But you remember in terms of cake, if there is a rectangle cake like this and if there are 3 pieces, this B fellow is eating 2 pieces and A is eating 1 piece. Okay. That is the simplest form of understanding this, because 1 and 2 are there, no? Just take the total number of pieces as 3, 2 plus 1, 3 pieces. And this B fellow is eating 2 pieces, A fellow is eating 1 piece. Okay. In the same way, this 45,000 also, you have to divide it into 3 pieces, 3 equal pieces. Okay. So, one piece value is 15,000. Okay, and the other 2 pieces value would be, together it would be 30,000. Okay, so 1 piece is A dash, 15,000. That is A's salary. That is what they are asking. Okay, isn't it easy? It is easy. If you solve this ratio problems by taking number of parts, if you are dividing the cake into 3 equal parts, then one part A fellow is eating, the other 2 parts B fellow is eating. Similarly, this 45,000 is a cake. Okay, and you divide it into 3 equal parts. So one part will go to A fellow, no? That is 15,000. That is what they are asking. Alright? Now, this is also very important and interesting concept. Alright? Next. There is an order of 19,000 quantity of a particular product from a customer. Okay. The firm produces 1,000 quantity of that product per day, out of which 5% are unfit for sale. In how many days will the order be completed? Okay, see, that fellow is producing 1000, gross production is 1000. But what is happening? 5% is defective. That means net production will be 95% of this one, because 5% are defective, no? So 95% of 1000 is how much? 950. So per day, that firm is producing 950 quantity. All right. So per day it's 950. Total, how much do you want? 19,000. So how many days will it take? It is 19,000 by 950. Why did I write like this? It's because for one day he's producing 9 days quantity. Okay. For one day it's 950. For how many days? How many days? In how many days will they produce 19,000? So it is 19,000 by 950. All right. Now 95 2s are 190 0. So he's taking 20 days. Okay. Now an exam paper contains 100 questions in 3 sections. Section A, B and C contain 20, 30 and 50. Okay, A, B, C, 20, 30, 50. Balu answered 50% of section A. Now what is 50% of section A? What is 50% of A? It is 10. 50% of 20 is how much? Half of 20 is 10, no? Now 70% of B. 70% of 30. I told you in the previous session, 70% of 30 means 1 percentage and 2 zeros will go. So the resultant answer is 21. Alright. And 60% of section C. Now what is 60% of 50? 60% of 50. See, 60% of 50 or 50% of 60. The answer is same. Did you understand my point? A percent of B number or B percent of A, the answer will be same. This is another important concept that you have to put in your mind. It is common sense, but however, I am stating it explicitly. Okay. Now what is 60% of 50? This percentage and 2 zeros are gone. 6 5s are 30, no? So it is 30. Now 50% of 60 is half of 60, no? That is also 30. So that's why A percent of B and B percent of A is the same. Now it is 30. Okay. But he could not clear the exam as minimum percentage to pass is 65. Okay. So how much did he see? 100 is the total number of questions, no? So 65% means he has to answer 65 questions correctly to pass. But how much did this fellow get? 30 plus 10, 40, 40, 50, 60, 61. He got only 61 correct, or he got 61%. Okay. How many more questions he would have answered correctly to pass the exam? So how many more questions? 65. What is the difference? 65 minus 61? It's 4. Okay. So percentages are fun if you understand clearly. Alright. Two numbers x and y are respectively 20% and 28% less than the third number. Yeah, less than the third number. Okay. By what percentage is the number y less than number x? Okay. So x is 20% less than z, which means it is 80% of z. It is 80% of z. Now 80% of z, how can I write? I will write it as 0.8 times of z. Okay, why? Because 80% of z means 80 by 100 into z, no? So it is 0.8 of z. Alright? Yeah. Now what is y? It is 28% less than the third number, which means y is 72% of z. Now in decimal format, what is it? It is 0.72 of z. Now, by what percentage is the number y less than the number x? Now, this y value is being compared to x value. So, x should be in the denominator. So, divide, if you are writing 2 by 1, then it will become y by x is equal to 0.72 z by 0.8 z. So this is 9 za, this is 10 za. So y by x is 9 by 10. So by what percentage is the number y less than the number x? So when you're calculating percentage, you have to take the difference. Percentage means the difference is 1 by with what number are you comparing? With x, right? So value of x into 100. Alright. So 10 ones are 10 tens are. So the answer is 10%. A gardener increased the area of his rectangular garden by increasing its length by 40%. Okay. So length, if the old length was L, the new length will be 1.4 L. Okay. And decreasing its width by 20%. Width, if it was W, now it will become 0.8 W. Okay. The area of the new garden. First of all, what is the area of rectangle? You all have learned this in school, no? Length into width or length into breadth. You know? So older area will be L into W. New area is 1.4 L into 0.8 W. Now 1.4 into 0.8, it is 1.12 LW. Now he's asking, observe the options. The area increase or area decrease, whatever it is. Okay. So what is the difference between the new area and old area? It is 0.12 LW. Alright. Which means the area increased by 12%. Okay, the area increased by 12%. Now 0.12 means what? It is 12 by 100, that is 12%. Okay, so the difference you got it as 12%, no? The new area is 12% more than the old area. Alright, so B is the answer. This is also a PYQ. Alright, now Raj scored 85% of the marks and Priya scored 510 marks in an exam. The maximum marks of the exam is equal to the marks obtained by Raj and Priya together. Marks obtained by Raj. Okay, so here what is the maximum marks in the exam? It is 100 in terms of percentage, 100%, right? Now Raj scored 85% and Priya scored 510. That is equal to 100%, right? Now, because because of the statement, the maximum marks of the exam is equal to the marks obtained by Raj and Priya together. Okay, so this 510 is what? 15%. 85% is here. So 100, to get 100, how much should we add? It is 15%. Okay, so 15% is 510. Now, what did they ask? Marks obtained by Raj. They are not asking the total marks or maximum marks. They are asking you marks obtained by Raj. What is the mark obtained by Raj? It is 85%. 85% is how much? When 15% is 510, then 85% is how much? It is 85 by 15 into 510. 3 5s are, 3 1s are, 3 7 0. 5 1s, 5 3s 15, 5 4s 20. Okay, so 85 into 34. So 85 into 34, how will I write? 85 into 30 plus 85 into 4. Okay, so 85 into 30 is how much? 3 5s are 15, 3 8s are 24, 1 25. So 0 0 plus 85 into 4 is how much? 4 5s are 20, 4 8s are 32, 33, 34. So the answer is 0, 9, 5 plus 3, 8, 2, 2890. Okay, 2890 is the score of Raj. Now, is more than 2000? Yes, this is the answer, no? Less than 1000? No, no, no. More than 2000. See, this is the conventional way. What is the other way? Observe here. See, this is 15%. Okay, 15%. 15% is 510. Now, how much did this fellow get? He got 85%, no? So, 15%, even if you do 4 times, how much is 15 into 4? It is 60%. Even if you do into 4, it is 60%. Into 4 is how much? Here itself, the score is crossing. It's 2040. Okay, it's 2040, no? Here itself, it is more than 2000. Actually, you don't need to do all these things. If they ask you what is the mark obtained by Raj in absolute numbers, then you have to do this. Okay, this I explained because for you to have a clear understanding. Okay, so that is method 1. Now method 2 is common sense. 15%, even if you do 4 times, it is 60%. No, this fellow got more than 60%. Okay, now into 4 if you do, here itself it is crossing 2000. Okay, so obviously when 60% itself is more than 2000, 85% will be, there is absolutely no doubt, it will be more than 2000 only. Okay, so without all this calculation, just by observation also you can mark this answer. All right, now the tank full petrol in Arun's motorcycle lasts for 10 days. If he starts using 25% more every day, how many days will the full tank petrol last? Okay, so per day, if Arun is using X amount of petrol and it is lasting for 10 days, the amount of petrol is same, no? Total amount of petrol is same. So X into 10 is the total amount of petrol initially. Now he's using 25% more, which means X will become 1.25x, and number of days we do not know. Let that be D. This is the new equation, and this is also equal to full tank petrol. This is also full tank petrol. This is also full tank petrol. So we can equate it. Okay, so X into 10 is equal to 1.25x into D, where D is the new number of days. So X and X will get cancelled. So here two decimal, na, you can buy 100. So this 100 will go here. It will become 1000 is equal to 125D. Now 8, so D is equal to 8. So number of days when he is consuming 25% more petrol every day, it is 8. All right. This is it for today. Practice these methods consistently, revise them, and you will be very confident about CSAT paper. Always remember, 10 questions a day keeps your CSAT fear at bay. All the best.